Have you ever wondered why you had more month than money left at the end of the day? We're going to be talking about the biggest reasons people spend money the way they do. So stay tuned. There are countless ways how people overspend that I've learned in the 25 years I've been in the financial industry helping clients. And I could probably narrow it down to, five different reasons people spend money the way they do. And maybe some of these reasons might resonate with you. But I would encourage you not just to listen, but to also reflect on, how some of these reasons might be a way for you to start saving more money. Okay, because at the end of the day, even though we want to live for today and we want to enjoy our lives today, there's still a whole tomorrow where we're not going to be able to earn an income from working anymore that we have to actually save for. Okay, so the first reason why people spend money the way they do is emotional. They base their spending on how they feel. They may use it as a way to manage their emotions, whether it's to reward themselves, reduce stress or cope with negative feelings, right? And this behavior is actually linked to just having immediate gratification. But we know that with immediate gratification, that doesn't last very long. And we usually suffer from the hangover of not having any money left at the end of the payday or at the end of the pay week to be able to actually pay the things we need to pay. Okay, all because we felt bad at the beginning of the week or we felt good that we had something. The second reason why people spend money the way they do is social comparison. We've heard keeping up as a way to kind of reflect that. But people tend to benchmark their lifestyle against other people, which can really drive unnecessary spending to keep with their peers, which could then lead to purchases that might not align with their true needs or values. I would say that this is a very big one. I would say has been a big one. One of the things that I realized was immediately after, getting married, the first thing you do, you start thinking about having kids. And then the next thing you do is you upgrade to a big house. But I mean, do you need a big house? I mean, if push came to shove, could you raise kids effectively, with as much happiness and love in a small house? So when we think about why we have to gratify ourselves with big purchases, and I get it, people want to own homes and that's totally fine, but does it have to be the new home, newly on the block? Does it have to be, renovated so that it looks fancy? I've realized in the last year that, the things I value the most aren't the big things that I bought, but a few items that really make me truly happy. Comparison is a big thing. I would encourage you to think about where you felt you bought something or you spent money on something and almost felt remorse after buying it and realized that I only bought this because I felt that I would add up to, the reflection of what friends or my peers or my family would think of me. Okay. The third reason why people learned is this really lack of financial literacy. A significant portion of the population doesn't fully understand financial concepts like budgeting, compound interest, or the importance of saving. And that's literally my forte. But without this foundation, like just a foundation, their spending decisions tend to be reactive rather than planned, So I think if more people knew about certain concepts like budgeting and compounding interest and the importance of saving, they would probably plan more things than react to and just spend. That probably be the one thing that you could definitely fix right away. The fourth reason why people speak the way they do is basically marketing and, current consumerism. Companies use targeted marketing to create desires. That's marketing. They use these to create desires where none might have not existed before. Behavioral economics basically reveals how framing and scarcity tactics push people to buy things that aren't necessary. And I'm sure that everyone has experienced that, where you see something on social media. I've run into it many times. Here's a great example. I'll be on Facebook and an ad comes up for this fancy luggage that you don't necessarily need right now, but it's so fancy that you don't have to, check in baggage anymore. And they make it look really great. And I don't need it, right? But it just makes it like, well, I will need it one day, right? If I'm going to travel. And like, that's just the mentality, right? Like, yeah, I wasn't thinking of buying luggage. I just came across it and look, oh, how interesting. You don't need to check in baggage. And this one piece of bag, one piece of baggage will help you, take everything on a trip. And I wasn't thinking about that. I was just on Facebook, right? So that is spend money the way they do. And then the fifth thing, and I think this is a bigger opportunity for you to reflect on how you would react, is basically what we call the present bias. People often prioritize immediate gratification or rewards over what could gratify and reward them over the long term. That makes any sense. And this present bias, this cognitive bias, makes it really difficult to delay gratification, even if you know that saving would benefit you in the long run. So I'll give you a good example, right? Just a simple example. I would like a Starbucks, and I don't want just a Starbucks coffee. I want a Starbucks pumpkin spice latte, and I don't want, the small one. I want the grande. Well, that $5 coffee gives me immediate gratification, may not last very long. But that $5, if I had just held on to it and maybe even invested it without knowing terms like compounding interest, could mean a lot more in the future, could mean less opportunity costs in the future and more opportunities in the future. But I don't see that because A, I don't know certain terms like B, I have this present bias. I want immediate gratification today. Well, I'd rather spend the $5 today than save it and make me more money later on. And really, how they kind of integrate, as you can see, we can totally integrate a bunch of things. Maybe I feel emotional because I did a really great job at work and I wanted to reward myself and I deserve it. So you can see how and why they spend money the way they do. So I hope you got a little bit of insight on how you spend money. Maybe you fall in also all the 5 categories. Really, at the end of the day, we all have a life to live after we've stopped working for money. And the longer you take to recognize your spending habits and why you spend money the way you do is going to hinder you from being able to save for a very comfortable life when you absolutely need it the most. Anyways, I got you all. Have a great day.